Have you ever felt lost for words when introducing yourself? Maybe you were at a business conference or on holiday and you wanted to start a friendly chat. In this video, you'll learn how to introduce yourself naturally and confidently in both business and holiday situations. Why not get a notepad now to write down the phrases you really like and want to learn, and then next time you're at a business event or you're on holiday, you will be well prepared. Let's begin with the formal greeting. This can also be used informally. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Please note, we don't say good day. It sounds a bit old-fashioned. Unless you're in Australia, then it sounds like this, g'day. And you can use this phrase, g'day, all day long. They often say, g'day mate. It's their way of saying hello. And it's also good to know we say good morning until 12 midday. And some people use it even after 12 midday. The last time I was in England on holiday, a lady who was walking her dog said, good morning. And it was 1:15 p.m. So you can use good morning all the way up to midday and sometimes a little bit beyond midday. And when we say good night, this is a way to say goodbye in the evening before you go to bed. That means if you meet someone in the evening, say good evening. Only say good night before bedtime at the end of the evening as a kind of a goodbye. Here are some informal greetings you can use. Hi. Hiya. What's up? How's it going? These are all nice informal greetings to use in informal situations with friends and in informal business situations. Let's begin with something simple, introducing yourself. But before I do, let me give you a really important tip. In English, we usually only use our first name when we introduce ourselves. Using your last name or surname can sound a bit too formal or even a bit unfriendly. Okay, are you ready? Our first introduction. I'm Kevin. Simple, easy, natural. Notice I used the contraction I'm. This sounds much more natural than I am Kevin. We usually use contractions in spoken English. You can also say, my name's Kevin. And we can follow this introduction with, nice to meet you. But be careful, we only say nice to meet you when we don't know someone. When we meet someone for the first time. See my video on 5 common mistakes for more information about this. Nice to meet you again. And to ask someone what their name is, just say, what's your name? So let's put this together, everything we've learned so far. First, our formal greeting. Good morning, my name's Kevin. Hello, I'm John. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. An informal greeting. Hi, I'm Kev. Hiya, my name's John. We can also follow this informal greeting with nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Later in this video, we will look at some other things we can say after the greeting. What if your name is long or people find it hard to pronounce, or if you have a nickname? You can say, my name's Beatrice, but my friends call me B. I'm Kevin Paul, but most people call me Kev. Please call me Georgie. It's short for Georgina. Next, you may want to say where you're from. It could be where you live now or where you're from originally. I'm going to give you a few different ways of doing it here. I'm from England. I'm from Germany. Again, I'm using I'm and not I am because it sounds more relaxed and natural. You can also say the name of the place, town or city where you live. I live in Berlin. If the place where you live is small or unknown, you could say, I live near Cologne, or I live in a small town near Cologne. Maybe you want to say where you lived in the past and where you live now. I'm originally from England, but now live in Germany. I used to live in Bristol, but now live in London. I lived in Spain for 10 years, but now live in Germany. I grew up in a small town near Dresden, but now live in Munich. And if you want to ask someone where they are from, just say, where are you from? Where do you live? Where are you from originally? Do you live nearby? Or do you live near here? You could also say your nationality. I would say, I'm English or British. If you're from Germany, then say, I'm German. Be careful. When we say our nationality, we use an adjective. For example, English, German, Spanish, French, Italian. These nationality adjectives are often different to the country name. For example, country names, England, Germany, Spain, France, Italy. So you need to be careful that you're using the right form of the word with each of these expressions. Let's practice this together now. Fill in the gaps with your country and your nationality. Now let's talk about your job. You can say, I'm a software engineer, I'm a teacher, I'm a mechanic, I'm an engineer, I'm a student. Notice we use the indefinite article a or an before we say our job. I'm teacher is incorrect. We need to say I'm a teacher. And if there's only one of you in your role within your company, then you can use the definite article the. For example, I'm the sales manager of a logistics company. I'm the CEO of an electronics company. You could also talk really generally about the field or industry that you work in by using in. I work in marketing. I work in sales. I work in construction. I work in design. Or you can say the department you work in. I work in the marketing department. I work in the sales department. Now, if you want to say which company employs you, then you can use for with the company name. I work for BMW. I work for Google. It's also possible and perfectly correct to say at. I work at BMW. I work at Google. What about if you work for yourself? You're your own boss. Well, in this case, you could say, I work for myself. I'm self-employed. I run my own business. Okay, now it's your turn. Fill in the gaps with your information. So for the first sentence, put in the gap your profession. What do you do? In the second sentence, put in the field or industry that you work in. And the third sentence, you could put in the department that you work in. And the fourth sentence, you can put in the name of the company you work for or at. Okay, and don't forget to speak out loud. If you need more time for any of these exercises, feel free to pause the video, go back and do it again. And if you're a CEO or a business owner, you could say, I'm the CEO, owner of an electronics company. And if you want to ask someone about their work, you can say, what do you do? This means, what's your job? What's your profession? Who do you work for? What do you do for a living? What's your job? Well done. Now you have lots of phrases to introduce yourself in a formal or informal situation. Why not go back and watch the video again and make some notes of your favourite phrases, and then make a short text to introduce yourself and to start a conversation, either in a formal or an informal situation. Please put your introductions and your questions into the comments below for others to see, and I'd love to see them too, and I'll try to comment on as many of them as possible. And don't forget to practice by saying it out loud. Thanks for watching, and see you again next week.